Hello, 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 and welcome back to Remnant 2. This is our blind playthrough of the game. My name is Tree Lord. Right now we are at power level 2. We haven't progressed the story mission too far, and I think last time we left off, we were at a boss crystal. So let's get in and see what awaits us. I'm really excited to play this today. Huh? No, don't tell me miss. Alright, let me just check something. It's +2. That's fine. So I don't actually need to upgrade. Alright, just had to make sure. Because this game sometimes actually doesn't sometimes crash. I haven't played this in a bit. We shall go back to the last one and see how often we fail. But yeah, the first boss is always, well, first time doing a boss, at least in Remnant from the Ashes, so for the first one. Oh, I felt a lot. It was gore, and oh my god, he wrecked me. He wrecked me. Okay, let's see what's in store for us. Uh-huh. I am already scared. I have no idea what's coming. Probably screaming at me that I should have just shot this guy. No.
Blade and spear, shield and stone. To arms, they come.
Who comes?
I. What? A Paxotech. A terrible wonder, even for one who has seen many wonders. If its kind walk yesh a foreigner, then surely the wheel of the world is set to turn again. Perhaps. Perhaps it will grind me at last. Pain now outweighs peace in the measure of my days. God murderer.
Why'd you call me God Murderer?
Know it nothing of the hoofless who have voyaged before it? Is it innocent of the lifeblood that stains its hairless hands? Curious. A curious race, Paxeltekar, to be sure. How came I to this wretched state? Its eyes reached the question. Before its tongue left home or hearth, the tumbling ruin beneath its tender pads was once a fortification, an encircling bulwark to the greatest conurbation ever brought forth on Yesha's soil. Such faith we put in its solidity. Merchant and marshal, peasant and prince, their souls kneeled at the altar of within and without. But a wall is a false god, built to crumble. The only thing a wall ever truly divides is a fool from his wisdom. The rifts open swiftly. They split the bulwark stone as a hot needle kisses the onion skin of a boil, and the pus poured through on tangled wooden limbs.
I mean, before I continue, it's really gross. Well, not really. I'll say it's really gross. But also thinking about it, the root are wood-type creatures. So where did all this flesh come from? But great cinematics with all the pulsing. What we choose? How'd you get stuck
For
like that?
40 days, we fought them on these steps. soldiers fell first, then the officers, then they called upon the priests. We knew the children would be next. And so, we flung our very bodies into the breach.
Oh, that's
Some
painful.
were torn apart like green shoots in a glutton's teeth. Others were swallowed whole and vanished from the sphere. I stuck, anguished cork in a malign bottle. It seethes around me. It waits to disgorge its grotesqueries once more upon Yesha's scalded skin. Please, Paxotep, wanderer, it who would do right, put its edge to this cursed snarl. Vent its rage upon it. I shall greet death as an old friend, and we shall go hand in hand to the horizon, leaving the suffering of this blasted heath far behind. Destroy the knot.
So, I presume he wants us to do this. Okay, what have I done? Come on! No! What? No! I can't, I don't want to die! Aha! 4 damage! Oh god. Alright, it just shows you what's about to come. Alright, that was try 1. Reload, reload. Reloading. Reload this as well. This is tough. No more healings. No. Oh wow. That's two. Actually, I think we might need to level up our gear. Let's return. But we know now what's going to happen. I think before I do the second phase, just to help myself out, I'll take care of the ads first. Do I have the money for it? That's the question.
What can I do?
1,000. Okay. Oh, I can't. Apparently, I can't upgrade my armor. Do I want to spend it? How
Take
much do I
care,
want
my
to
friend.
spend it?
Better be worth my... What do you...
It's 500 away. Wait.
Move along,
wait.
traveler. I'm a busy woman.
Yes. Let's go to the medic first.
I don't like to talk about the
Nope,
things
wrong
I've
one.
seen.
What can I do?
Feels like
Knock yourself
speaking.
out.
Check the wares out.
The words manifest them, and I don't want to relive that.
Let's buy 3.
Take care, sunshine.
Just out of curiosity. Let's go to this guy.
Well, hey, get away from my stew! Oh, it's you.
Wait. Do we know each other?
No, of course not. Never seen you before in my life. I just figure you're you. You know? And I'm me, and that's where we are. So, what can old Mudtooth do for you, huh? Well, shoot,
Questions.
traveler, I might have some answers for you. Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth. And ain't nobody been around longer or seen more than I have. Except maybe old Ford, of course. But that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories. Only 3 reasons why folks come to see me. And that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. So, young'un, what'll it be?
What's
That's
the third one?
so? Huh. Did I tell you about the stories yet?
Yeah, that
That one too, eh? Well, that's it, ain't it? My stories and my stew. Listen, you sure I said there were 3 reasons? 'Cause there's only 2, and that's certain.
Pretty sure?
Only 2 reasons folks come to see old Mudtooth, and you know both of them. I'm pretty sure your memory's slipping.
Oh, but I had fun with this character. In the last one, you also had to listen to all the stories before we get to this.
Town, call it. Back in my day, a place like this wouldn't be considered much more than a camp or a bivouac. You might call it. Nah, this ain't no town. Not yet. But it is a fine place to set up camp. I lived by myself for years, see? Had myself what you calls it, a hockapatopter. That thing
Hockapatopter.
could fly to the moon and back. It could. Anywho, I was living by myself when my boy Brabus showed up saying we should move on. Told me it wasn't safe for me to be living like I've been living no more. He told me about this place. Got some nice people here. Took some getting used to, being around folks again.
Right.
Well, Brabus, he's my son. 'Twere his idea to come join this little shanty town. Not a bad idea it was, neither. He's over yonder, at the shooting range, if you're looking to find him. Not much of a talker, though, that one. Guess he didn't get his old man's gift for gab, eh?
Alright. Tell me
You
story.
bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start? I ever tell you how the world fell in the first place? Well, sit down, friend, 'cause there ain't no one knows what really happened but me. It started in them wards, see? Secret military-industrial complexes and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did their experiments. Now, the root weren't meant to reproduce, see? They was built as a weapon, but then they done breeded and got out. Well, we all know what happened after that. Only reason the root stopped was 'cause the Wanderer, well, he flamethrower-sized their queen, see? Over in that tower on the atoll, so's they couldn't breed no more. Now, listen. You might hear Ford tell you something different, but you look at the two of us and ask which has obviously been around longer. Which of us is most like to have been there, huh? You ask yourself that, and then you just look my way, 'cause that's who it is.
Tell me another story.
Stop me if I told you this one already. I ever tell you about the time I killed 300 deadwood in one go? Whoo, that's a tale. So, I lived up in this old, Helio-Chapataka whatchahoozits, great sniper's nest. Let me pop off deadwood from a mile away. But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's deadwood all around the place. Hundreds of them. But they don't stop coming. And I'm thinking, this is finally it. But then, I see tucked away behind an old building the cracked open end of an old gas main. So, I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horde goes up in flames. Not a single one of them left. Deadwood never did bother me after that. You won't believe this one, but you should. You met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but
This guy's a
not
chatterbox.
in a mudder way. He just ain't right. Talks to the root, he says. I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but I was there at his birth. Don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first, but it's true. That boy Wally was born under a blood moon. Always strange, they say. Harbinger of changeification and whatnot. I heard him cry out his first breath I did, and I says to myself, that ain't natural. Like the squall of some blackbird. Caw! Oh, don't tell him I said it. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Or maybe he would, come to think of it. You talked to him yet? Boy ain't right.
So in the previous game, if you talked to him long enough, you could get some potions from him, which are pretty useful. So that's why we're listening to him. I assume it's here again, but why wouldn't it be?
Sure can. Let's see. Ho! I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. But this king, he got his, people together to...
Wait.
Of course I'm awake. Now, the Shrouded King, He got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts.
Alright. Before we continue with the stories, if you want to leave a comment, please tell me what your favorite word from him was, because some are just brilliant.
This one's 100% true. I ever tell you the secret behind my stew? Well, I ain't gonna. But I will tell you how it came to be, yeah? The original recipe comes from my ma, of course. But that ain't the end of the story. My ma made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating... We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds full of pharmaceuticals and whatever you call them. And I had nothing but a dead coney and an onion on my belt, which weren't good for much but were the style at the time. So we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days, until finally the dead wood outside got bored and took off. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day medicinals. Better even. Stop me if I told you this one already. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there that you ain't never seen in your life. Down there in that rusted place was just machinery and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. And that place, I know he founded. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answers myself, but I don't know if I believe them. And there's a story for another time.
Nope, it's time for now.
Don't think I told you this one yet. There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? I don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this Watcher Man sits at the center, and he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Ho, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this Earth of ours is just one door in a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world.
Any more stories?
Sure can. Well, let's see. So I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? Folks were holed up in the basement, trapped there for God knows how long. But the root, the root,
Let's nudge him this time.
just pausing for drama, see? But the root had found those folks same time we did. Now the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail. Literally a biting and a chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go, Mudtooth. Name stuck ever since.
That's interesting.
Don't think I told you this one yet. You met my boy Brabus yet? He's a handful, that one. Always has been. Got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Knocked down a boy had to be, twice his age. And 3 to 6 times his height, at least. Well, that boy's pa didn't take it none too well. And this pa, phew, like a pair of fists with leg bones. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of me for it. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but, oh, who am I kidding? I wouldn't be telling you if I weren't proud, now would I? But, like I taught Brabus, say as I do as I say. And anyways, I couldn't back down from a fight, not in front of the Crazy Eight. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I aim to win, not fight fair. I pointed at nothing at all behind him, then smooshed a scoop of mud straight into his mouth. Then, while he was a-spitting and a-sputtering, I hit him hard. So hard that when he fell, my muddy hand came away with 3 of his teeth in it. And that, friend, is the true story of how I got the name Mudtooth.
Now that is an interesting backstory.
You'll like this one. It's about the time my own damn son left me to die. Oh, don't worry, I'm still here, ain't I? Or he went to get some grub for us or whatever, I don't know. Point is, I was alone in the darkened woods with nothing but my rifle. We was on our way from the city to our new home in the ward here, carrying all my earthly possessions and all that, and Brabus, he up and leaves me in the middle of the night. I was attacked. 20, no, 50 deadwood come crashing through the trees. We thought they was all dead and gone, but they were just a-waiting for old Mudtooth to leave his helio chopper. Now, I may be an old mudder, but I ain't no pushover. I blasted them down, left and right, laughing all the time. I was winning until something snuck up on me and concustipated me upside the head. I don't mind telling you, I thought I was done for. Then a growling starts. Deadwood back off, and I look up to see a dog there tearing them apart, literal limb from non-metaphorical limb. We fought the rest off together, that dog and I thought to myself, now there's a mudder what's got some teeth. Turns out he just wanted some of my stew.
And I also want some of his stew.
Would you believe old Mudtooth's out of tails? Well, don't, 'cause I ain't. But I could use some time to simmer before telling the next one. Come back later, yeah?
All right.
I'll warn you. Once you try a bite, you'll want more.
Oh wow, he has a lot more this time. They all cost 500. So do you want health or do you want stamina? Hold on, what? Oh no. Oh, these are... What's this one do? Oh god, oh god, oh god. Which one? Stamina recovery or max stamina? Tell you what, we'll go Verdant Tea.
I'll be
Only
seeing you then.
buy one, which is alright.
Don't try to get all fancy now, Dwayne. It's just...
So yeah, do tell me which word of his you like the most, and I think I'll strategize this time and not just go guns blazing. Let's go back to the Forgotten Field. We should take care of the ads first, and then pop it, but that's a lot to do. Probably the better option is just to any more? Seem like it? No! Oh god! Come on. Take care of the big guy. Mistake, didn't mean to burn it. About to die. Oh! conserve some ammo. We have to find some. Come on. Get it. Yes. All right. Pick it up. Ooh. No! So close. I need to put the thing away. What is it? I? Okay. Can we... I don't know. It's a bit slotted. So we aren't bleeding. There's nothing I can use. Alright. Actually, 3 would be better. Alright, let's try again. Wonderful flip. Right.
I can't carry any more of that. Can't carry any more.
Where are they? The big one.
I've got enough of that.
Reload. It's going really well. Look for them. Come on. No! Got you! Okay. Where? Level-headed. It's going really well.
No room for that.
Oh my god, what just happened? But that's the way to do it. Okay. Doable. Definitely doable. It's too bad the ammo doesn't stay. But that's fine. Does it make sense to stay up top here? Right. So.
Won't fit.
Come on, where are they? I want all the ads. That's it? Only 3? Don't see any more connectors.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Let's activate a bit of healing. Might have been way too early, but that's fine. Okay, so first stage we can do pretty well. Let's run, have no idea where they are. That was probably a waste. Oh, how am I supposed to get them? Not too bad, not too bad. Where? I can't hear anyone else. Stuck up
Can't
again.
carry anymore.
Alright. Final push! No one else is coming? Yeah, no, they are. Here he is. Reload. It's not ready yet. Where is he? Oh, come on. Is it cloner this time? And elemental resist. That is not ideal. No, and he cloned me. Alright. Go, 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 go! Heal! Jump over, load. Got it! Alright, that wasn't too bad. Ooh. Okay. Sorry I'm shouting a bit, but... Oh my god, my heart's pounding.
Yeah, not enough room.
Alright, let's talk to him. You alright?
Is this real? Or has insensate madness claimed me? Paxeltag.
Alright, that was the first
I have not
boss.
tasted air unmixed with the
The
foul
first boss?
humors
Ah,
of
it's
the
his second
tangle.
boss.
In an age's age,
Ooh.
nor dared I dream that I ever might again, much less feel the soft touch of good soil beneath my hooves, or the kiss of the wind on my free fur. Faithless have I been, and yet Paxeltech came, with war in its right hand, and temperance in its left. The Paxeltech came, and I am saved. Two-handed warrior. It has my allegiance, whatever may come. Paxeltech have a gift for death, this much is true, but they are not all destroyers. Perhaps if it fights with us, perhaps the root may yet be crushed under the wheel of time. Take this, though it be a relic of we lamer, stewards of death. Wield it in defense of life.
Rugged, new trait. What will you
I
do now?
think I shall linger here a while yet. Many are those who fell on these blood-soaked steps. No, some are now naught but bones. They each deserve the funerary rites of royalty. These I shall endeavor to complete with whatever time is left to me. If its road should ever wind this way again, grace me with a visit. There are yet tales of Yesha, I might tell it, if it cares to hear them shared.
Actually, yeah, this is more like a tale kind of episode, so let's
On
go
the
for it.
contrary, it has been ages since I felt so very much alive. Let us first be properly introduced. Once I was called Lich, foremost of the Lamir. High priest of the dead. How I gloried in that title. Would that I had known the irony. A funerary priest of the deathless, the highborn, one who wraps the powerful in glory, and a Muslim who seals the secrets of the eternal empress with sweet seed oil and with night sap. We guarded the flesh of the great and sought their resurrection. Among these trusted sacred pan, I was the utmost. I relished the favor of her permanence. more fool I.
Priest of the Dead?
For many epochs, the Highborn did not fear the flow of time, for the fruit of the Thane tree kept it at bay. But there are other ways to die. Misadventure. The Eternal Empress dreamed of defeating this final terminus. If life could be taken, could it not be given back? The flesh was preserved against that question's answer. This was the province of the Lemir. But let us start at the beginning. Much would I have it know. And to know all, it must know what is first. Would it hear the history of the Pan?
Yes.
In the time before time, the Pan lived in the place that was. It is said that there came a great plague that ravaged the land so that the fields were seeded only with the bones of the dead and yielded only the cries of the bereft. With his flock drowning in woe, the leader of the Pan held forth a great decree. 100 ships were built to hold 10,000 souls, with their god of many faces cutting the waves before them. The Pan that were ventured across the Vilkmarza, the dark sea, through the long night. The Vaunts prayed and the Red Widows wept, for no one knew if the dark sea had a far shore. 100 days lit the 100 ships, and 100 nights drew their swaddling across them too. But on the 101st day, as the Red Widow in the foremost ship bowed her horns to the god of many faces, a bird lit between them, singing, "Glory to the Pan, for they have reached the kin mother." Yesha rose like the dawn before them, unseen, untamed, and free.
Ooh, God, his voice acting, or the voice actor for him, is really great. It's very mesmerizing. Who was this leader of the
The
Pan?
king who was, him known to the Pan as Colket the War-Handed. Later, Colket the Woebegone, and at last, as Colket the Wise. Quick of blade was he in his youth, a fearsome general who watered the tree of progress with the lifeblood of many enemies. But the exploits of youth brought Colket no peace in age. They say he took the plague as fate's judgment against his warlike eye. Fate offered a choice: flee the land of his fathers, or end his line as the king of death. Colket hesitated no more in pilgrimage than he had in war. He raised up ships as once he had raised regiments. He sailed from the place that was with a heart full of hope. He was never to see Yesha's shores. He passed in peace before the crossing's end, greeting death with grace.
That's a really cool story. You said cutting the waves. This god was a real physical
The
creature.
god of many faces had been with the Pan since the place that was. Longer. None speak of a time before its guardianship. It was a god as real as the soil beneath us. A god one could visit, a god one could touch. Its ways were not known, but all agreed it loved us and ever would. More would I have it here of this, for this tendril twines with its own. But patience two-handed one, each thing in time.
Why does he call us two-handed? He also has two hands, doesn't he? Like one here and one here, unless I'm missing some other ones?
In those days, there was no empress. There were no queens. Colket the Wise passed on the Dark Sea and left no heir. It was only agreed that the clergy should step in where Colket had stood. The Vaughn's spoke for the many-faced one, and the Red Widows spoke for the sun, stone, sky, and stream. It had been ever thus. Now, they linked hands to cradle the destiny of the Pan. For 80 days, the Vaughn's fell prostrate upon Yesha's unfamiliar shore. They prayed for a sign that our searching was over, and that this forest should be ours. On the 80th day, two forms emerged from the depths of the jungle. First came a doe with coat of red. Where it walked, the soil gave forth flowers and sweet berries, and they took it as a sign of grace. But behind the doe came another, a wolf with fur as lightless as the obsidian waves the Pan had so lately crossed. Surely, this great beast was a portent of death. Yet, desperate were these threadbare priests of old, and of these visions to their charges, these Vaughn's spoke only one.
Spoke of the doe?
And why not? The doe fills all who glimpse it with a spirit of hope and a sense of growth. It leaps among the shrub and bramble even now, even with Yesha sundered by the root. There are those who think it more than a spirit, a god in waiting. These call themselves the children of the Red Doe.
Kind of sounds like Dracula. The children of the Red Doe.
Those who glimpse the doe often glimpse the wolf, for the latter seems compelled to pursue the former. Yet, to hear those early Vaughn's tell it would be to hear of many different wolves in pursuit, and only one doe. A simple deception, but a far-reaching one. Modern Pan know the truth. What must it be to spend an eternity chasing that which one might catch but may not kill? For the wolf and the doe have often met, antler and tooth, hoof and claw. The doe may spill the wolf's blood, and the wolf may taste the doe's flesh, but never the other's life to take. Yesha itself forbids it. They say the chase has driven the wolf quite mad. With the assurance of the Vaughn's, the Pan took to Yesha and she to us. And for a time, there was stillness. Pan were born who had never known the land that was, nor the endless sea at their backs. One such was called Genus. She was but 15 springs when she felt the calling of the Red Widows, and not 3 more when she felt the touch of sickness. As Genus approached the door of death, she sought her sisters, for there were no Lamer yet, and it was the Red Widows who ushered the Pan into the soil. But Genus's malady was known to the Widow Mother, to her, to the Elder Pan. It seemed the plague had found them again, even on this distant shore. Genus was shunned, cast out into the jungle, and her name was forbidden from Pan lips. None among them could have foreseen what would come next.
What happened to her?
Plague-ridden and scorned, the Red Widow Genus had been cast into the jungle to be forgotten. But fate had other plans. After many days in the jungle, Genus emerged. The Pan were humbled, for all signs of plague had been lifted from the young Genus, replaced by a regal gait none could deny. Fascinated, all assembled to hear her tale. And quite a tale it was. Gina spoke of a vision that had come upon her as she lay in the moss, gasping out her last. In her vision, the plagues had returned. Pan, young and old, wailed and keened and spat their last blood on Yesha's pristine sand. But then, when all seemed lost, a great tree rose out of the jungle, strange and wonderful, and heavy with luminous fruit. This tree, the Thane, she named it, gave all who ate of it a life unending. The Pan embraced it, and their glory stretched on for 1,000 epochs. Genus rose to power on this. The spire built of words.
Might be a bit of a longer episode, but how did she
By
rise to power?
spreading her message of doom and salvation. The Red Widows were easy converts, inclined to believe their sister, and eager to spread her vision to all the Pan. In time, they held more sway than even the Vaughn's. It was a great shift. It would not be the last. Among the Red Widows, Genus was quickly elevated to Widow Mother. The crops flourished, and the villages spread. The jungle receded from the shore.
Okay.
It is difficult to say. Genus has had charge of her own legend for an age of ages. Suffice to say, there is enough truth to her vision for me to know her personally, though I was born some 30 mothers hence, and yet, in knowing her, I find its question impossible to answer. But we get ahead of ourselves, two-handed one. Many seasons passed, and Genus grew stooped and lined as all Pan before her had. In her 77th winter, Genus had another vision. The Thane called to her, and she told her people it was time to seek it out, for the calamity was imminent. 500 Pan were assembled to undertake the expedition. Genus herself, a contingent of Red Widows, a party from each of the villages. Many imagined they would never see their queen again. Those that lived long enough came to know the taste of those words. When Genus, now as young and beautiful as the day she first beat death, emerged from the jungle once more, with 49 immortals at her back, she had been reborn a second time as an Empress Eternal.
Jesus Christ. That's a long story, but it's amazing. What happened to
For
500?
years, they searched the forest, battling hunger, storms, and beasts red of tooth and claw. 20 winters passed. Many succumbed to death or to doubt by the 21st spring. Only 5 Red Widows and 44 common Pan stood at Genus's side. It was they whom she led into the clearing. It was they who beheld the Thane. It was they who tasted the fruit and felt time's weight fall from their shoulders.
Did the calamity ever come?
No plague has touched the Pan since,
Oh.
but calamity wears faces nearly as numerous as our god of old.
Is Genius on this throne?
Unless I am much mistaken, the Empress lives yet, for no funerary smoke has filled the sky above her ziggurat. If the pan vanish from Yesha's soil, I imagine she will be the last to depart. With death thus leashed, the eternal Genus and her immortals brought forth an empire heretofore unknown. Great ziggurats were hewn from the living rock, and at their feet grew great cities lit by arcane magics. Genus's prophecies all came about, save one. If only the pan of that epoch had wandered as it does, two-handed one. What of the great calamity? But none worried, save a few vaunts. The old ways were dying, and the Empress was not. No achievement seemed beyond the reach of the pan. It was then that the wolf came.
Why did only the
But the story of Yesha is the story of who tastes the fruit of the Thane tree. 49 immortals begat many more. A deathless aristocracy. They traded favor with the Empress, traded years of life itself like fishmongers at market.
What about the wolf?
They called it the Ravager. The very obsidian beast the vaunts of old had glimpsed and hidden. It sprang from the jungle as sudden as a squall. It made no more than mutton of the bravest warrior. Fear fell like night across the empire. Death roamed Yesha. Ravenous death none could tame. There were those who would have seen the beast slain, but the Ravager was never much glimpsed that the red doe should not follow. And vice versa. The green things of the jungle sprang from the red doe's feet. But on what do green things grow, if not the flesh of departed life? Who knew what would become of the doe if the Ravager were felled? Who knew what would become of the jungle? Who knew what would become of the Thane tree? It was the twice humbled Vaughnts who kept the Empire from vanishing down the Ravager's throat, for the Vaughnts had pondered the beast since it first appeared to them on Yesha's shores. It was they who had learned to listen to Aethir's song. They who learned to appease the Ravager with tribute, with dance, and with music. Balance returned, and the wheel of time rolled on.
Aethir
The song of all living things. It permeates our forest. It whispers in the leaves, thrums in the soil, shines in the sun, babbles in the stream. The Vaughnts devote themselves to the song's mystery. They play it to tap its power, as other pan might use the energy of a crystal, or the heat of a flame. Those attuned in prayer hear it strongest, but all may catch its strain from time to time, even a Paxeltech.
Was the Ravager the
Who
calamity?
is to say? For that was hardly the last calamity to befall the pan at Yesha. With the Ravager appeased, the Empress dreamed of rule eternal. She should likely have had her wish. But for one thing, the Thane tree, that of the fruit of immortality, began to die. For many lifetimes her permanence hid this knowledge from all who served her, slave and immortal alike. And why not? She had amassed a great store of fruit, and surely something could be done to save the tree. Why crack the very bedrock of her society? But the tree's decline could not be arrested. Fruit was rationed. Noble lineages withered. We lay there, once prepared for the final death of death. Only those immortals who had fallen in battle or by misadventure. Now, we found ourselves winding wizened nobles in sap and muslin by the hundreds. Perhaps what came next was inevitable. Rebellion, insurrection, revolt. This was the fire that was to sweep through Yesha's jungle. For a life of lifetimes, the Eternal Empress had hidden the decline of the Thane tree. But like the Vaughns of old, had underestimated the power of one young, plague-addled Red Widow. Genus herself failed to foresee the power of one called Navoon. Ah, Navoon was one of her Eternity's own guards. How she learned of the rot at the roots of the Thane tree, I cannot say. I know only that she had no taste for the Empress's deceptions. Navoon fled the ziggurat and spread the news far and wide. Her words found home in the ears of the gull. Yesha's slave caste. No slaves could hope to challenge the power of an immortal aristocracy. But what about a nobility in disarray? One where the great and powerful would soon fight for scraps of fruit like bare-ribbed dogs. They rose, first singly, then in a tidal wave. The Empress found herself at war. Perhaps she might have won, if not for the Destroyer.
Alright, I think we're gonna keep it here. Nice little bit of a cliffhanger. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment if you actually like to see the whole story, but it's really interesting and captivating. I shall see you next time. Bye, and thanks for joining in.